Welcome to the Built-in Silence Podcast. This is where disciplined people think louder than they speak. Sit back, lock in, and let's break down ideas that make you sharper.
Your manager already picked your replacement, and the worst part, they're still smiling at you in the hallway. Here are 5 signs that it's already happening, and most high performers miss every single one. Most people think getting replaced starts with a pip or a bad review. Wrong. By the time you get the paperwork or the negative review, the decision was made months ago. The actual replacement process is invisible by design. Your manager doesn't announce it. HR doesn't flag it, and your coworkers do not warn you. You find out when it's too late to counter. So here's 5 indicators that decision already been made, and what each one tells you about your timeline. Sign 1, your access is shrinking. Not your workload, your access. There's a difference. They'll keep you busy. In fact, they'll keep you buried in tasks. But the meetings that matters, the ones where decisions get made at, you are no longer in those rooms. Or you're in the room, but you're kind of optional when it comes to invitation. Here's the test. Look at the last 30 days that you've been at your job. Are you still in meetings where the budget, headcount, or strategy gets discussed? Or have you been rerouted to the execution-only work? When a manager is phasing you out, the first thing they do is cut your line of sight. Because if you can't see what's coming, you cannot counter against it. That is an accident. That's a containment strategy. Now, if your counter went from strategic to purely operational, that's indicator number 1. You've been moved from the chessboard to the assembly line. Sign 2, your wins are getting distributed. You delivered the project, you saw the problem, you hit the number, but when the results get presented upstream, someone else's name is on it, or they label it as team effort that somehow doesn't include your name. This is not humility for your manager. This is called asset stripping. They're taking your results and attaching them to your placement's narrative. The person who's going to fill your role needs a track record, and your manager is building it with your work. Here's what made this lethal for high performers specifically. You were taught that the work speaks for itself, so you don't fight for credit. You assume your results are self-evident. Meanwhile, someone less competent than you is getting credit for your output, and they look promotable. You, at this moment, is a low-bearing wall. They're the ones who get the open house listing. Sign 3, you're the last to know things that directly affects your role. Reorgs, priority shifts, new hires in your department, budget allocations. If you're finding out things or changes from coworkers rather than your direct boss or your direct manager, that's not an oversight. That's a deliberate information asymmetry. Think about it tactically, right? If a manager respected your position, you'd be briefed on this pretty early before it actually happens, right? And you'll be consulted. When they stop looping you in, they've already decided that your input doesn't matter because the outcome itself does not include you. There's a military concept in this as well that many of you know of called need to know. And when the manager decides that you're no longer in a need to know, they've already classified you as non-essential. You're still in the payroll, but you're no longer in the operation. If you're still watching this, stay logged in. Signs 4 and 5 are the ones that are pretty much used to confirm that this isn't paranoia. It's a pattern, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you should respond. Sign 4, you used to operate independently. Now everything needs approval. This is a micromanagement escalation, and here's why this is a replacement indicator, not just bad management. When your manager is investing in your success, they give you room to grow and operate. Yes, but when they decide to move on from you, they need a paper trail. Every approval request requires documentation. Every email chain where you confirm alignment is evidence that they're managing your performance. This is a quiet construction of a case not to help you improve, but to justify the decision that they already made months ago. But you may be thinking now, how do I tell The way you can tell is if you're being managed by people who are at your same level, you've been managed more tightly than people at your same level. New hires have more leeway and more leverage and more latitude than you do. If you're a senior performer being supervised like an intern, your manager isn't managing you, they're documenting you. Sign 5, no one talks about your future anymore. When's the last time your manager mentioned your next role, your next promotion path, your next development opportunity, your next stretch assignment? If that conversation ever went silent and it used to exist, that tells you everything. Companies invest in people that they plan to keep. They send them to conferences. They put them on high visibility projects. They discuss succession. When all those stops, but your workload stays the same, you're been harvested, not developed. They're extracting your remaining value while the transition plan runs in the background. Here's the confirmation test. Ask your manager directly, what does my growth trajectory look like over the next 12 months, and watch their reaction. If they deflect, generalize, or say, let's revisit this a couple months from now, later, most likely than not, means never. The decision has already been made. So now those are the 5 indicators that the decision has already been made. Now, here's what you can do with this information. First, stop assuming good faith. If 3 or more of these signs are active, this is not a rough patch. Every email where credit was redirected, you are building your counter narrative and you need receipts. Countermeasure number 2, reestablish visibility. Start sending out a weekly impact summary to your manager and their manager. 1 email, 3 bullet points where you delivered, what it affected, and what's next. You're forcing your name back into the decision space. Countermeasure number 3, open another front. Start conversations with other teams, other managers, other departments. Your current manager controls one exit. You need to create more. Internal mobility is faster, meaning that you're able to go within the job that you're working in, within a different team much quicker and quieter than searching for a different job. 4, set a decision point. Give yourself 60 days. If the indicators are still there or active after the countermeasures have already been done, the environment is still hostile and you need kind of like an extraction plan. Now, start those external conversations now while you still have the leverage, while you're still in that job. Employed candidates can negotiate from strength. Unemployed ones negotiate from desperation. Now, this is about paranoia. This is about pattern recognition. The best time to act is before they think you've noticed. That is your window. Use it. If this changed how you see your situation at work, subscribe. Every video on this channel is for professionals like me and you who refuse to be blindsided. I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for tuning in. Remember, growth doesn't need an audience. Keep moving in silence and let the work echo later. Catch you on the next one.